And good morning, everyone. It is a bright Sunday morning here at the studio. And joining me today is my Yumi Cruz. Hi, Yumi.
Hi, Maita.
So, hello, everybody. Mukhang one pa lang ang ating audience, but that's
I
okay. Do you
know.
know the nice thing about being live or being on Facebook is everyone can just watch, diba? Anytime, anywhere. Yun lang, they cannot join the comment section. Only siguro kapag ano, only kapag what's this? We'll get back to them na lang. So
Mhm.
those who will be joining us live today, we will answer all your questions. So no holds barred, but let's
Mhm.
keep it PG. How's that?
Okay.
Oh, no.
That's
Dati
okay.
meron kami mga sessions na gano'n, no holds
Oo,
barred, talagang no holds
gold bar.
barred. Like, even like,
Oo.
you know.
Mhm. It's
So,
PG.
shouting out to Elaine. She is
Andiyan na ba
joining
si
us.
Elaine?
Hello.
Okay. Hello,
So,
Elaine.
hi. Thank you for joining us. So, alrighty, let's start. If
Okay.
I'm going too fast, uh, reel me in or comment na lang.
Okay.
Makikita ko naman si comment. Alrighty.
Okay.
So,
Sorry for my dog.
excited little doggy.
Yep.
So, our session today is on my own in publishing. So, what if you don't want to go traditional? What if you don't want to go um, the longer route? Because let's face it, traditional publishing is medyo long route. Okay, it's
Mm-hmm.
not an easy uh,
Yes.
way. It
Yeah.
takes a while, and I will tell you my process. Maybe your process would be different. It will differ from publisher to publisher. So I'll also give timelines later. Okay, sabi ko nga, no holds barred, ask away, learn whatever you can. I had a mentor, shall we say, or she really helped me start in my publishing journey. And I will tell you guys a little more as we go along. So I want to write, and but I also want to be published. Paano yan? So a lot of people are having a hard time reconciling these. Either napaso sila sa mga publishers or they just really don't know where to start. But they want their stories out there. Like me, I love stories. I mean, look at my family. We're all in storytelling and in academe. So most of us are writers in the family. And if you guys know, my eldest sister, Ria Lu, she is the designer, maker, creator, and everythinger of Tailcraft, the story creation card game. Um, it's been in the market for more than 15 years now, and it's still being used by schools and by writers. So I guess you guys know where I I get it from. Idol si Big Sis, no? But my journey to publishing started ganun din. I keep writing, but I didn't publish it kasi nahiya ako or I didn't know what to do. Um, shy. I was shy. I was really shy back then. Ngayon na lang nag-open up because I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot. And in the things that I'm doing, not just in writing, also with my fashion career, uh, well, mapapa public speaking ka talaga. So it's maybe the reason why I'm quite articulate when we're on stage, when we're live. But it didn't start out that way. 10 years ago, I was really super shy. I didn't want anybody to read what I write, but at the same time, I want everybody to read what I write, So there's this tug of war happening within you. And I just didn't know what to do. So here comes my publishing journey. So you guys just know where I'm coming from. There was a friend of mine, and I'm going to plug her now because she's also a fellow writer and she is an editor, Liana Bautista. So Liana Smith Bautista, she was the one who really pushed me into publishing. So what happened? First, first, what she did is she got a lot of us together, not just me. There was a group of us. And she's like, okay, all of you, you are going to get published. And ako, sabi ko, I'm just gonna help. Dun lang sa sidelines, do you need me to do art? Do you need me to like host events or something like that? Dun lang sa sideline. Oh, no, 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 no. Ginawa niya yung front and center, no? And then, napablurt out ako ng story ko on the spot na hindi ko pa sinusulat, by the way. Because I wrote a separate thing na your imposter syndrome will attack in the middle of, and then you don't want to show your story because nahiya ka that nobody likes it. So, what you do is you try to do, I don't know, ad lib, thinking that maybe they'd like this story. So I'm not joking. I blurted a story on the spot and people had a very good reaction to it. And I'm like, oh great, now I have to write the book. And then Leanna's like, guess what? I already put out an ad. So pagkagabi na to. I already put out an ad. You're gonna launch your book next month. Patay! What am I gonna do? She announced it already on Facebook that I'm gonna be launching a book. And it's like, I already booked Bose Coffee Mega Mall. Yun pa yun. Bose Coffee Mega Mall. Doon tayo sa may parang separated area in the back. I think wala na ngayon na renovate na kasi. Pero back then, there was like this area doon where you can host events. And she talked to the manager na mag-order lang kaming lahat. So there's just a clause, everybody orders, and then we're gonna launch the book. We're like, oh great, I haven't written that book. And then she's like, here's the name of a editor and here's the name of a printer. Oh my gosh, I'm not joking. I wrote something in like 3 days, sent it to the editor. We went back and forth because Liana actually did not edit my book. It was Georgette who edited my book. So we had a back and forth for mga close to 2 weeks, sent it to the printer, and she printed some books and whew, photo finish. When we got to Bose Coffee Mega Mall, the books were already there. Oh my gosh, magical moment. Your first launch is your magical moment. Kahit na it's just in a small cafe, kahit na it's just yung ganon, restaurant lang, or even in just your garage or in your living room live, there's this magical moment when you see your book out there. So, guys, wag kayong mahiya. You can do it. So after that, Summit Media under Buko, or Buko under Summit Media, picked up the books, a lot of us, and they helped us out. And then we were on radio shows talking about it. We were in cafes being interviewed about it. So, parang wow. So, oh, hello, Amy. Amy is here. Thank you for joining us. So, okay, back to my cuento on how I got published. Um, Sometime later, like couple years after, si Buko discontinued. We don't know actually the real reason why they just discontinued. But I figured I want to still be in publishing. So we had an option. We can re edit the book to be longer and put it in Summit Media or find a different publisher. By that time, I was already exploring Amazon. So I was trying to learn everything I can, join every podcast, join every workshop. Kahit online, magigising ako ng mga 1 a.m., 2 a.m. just to join yung mga free workshops abroad. And then there, I started to publish on Amazon. Steamerella was one of the few books that I put there. Nag-testing muna ako actually ng mga short books. And then Steamerella was my longer book there. And then the one that I got from Summit when we had the go signal na the rights are reverted back sa amin, I put it on Amazon na din. So yeah, that's how I started. And then after that, naging mas confident na ako. I joined an international convention in the States and I messaged them like, "Hi, is there a Philippine booth or a Philippine delegation?" And they're like, "There's no Philippine delegation this year." Oh, you're a new author from the Philippines. We'll give you a free table. You just pay the tax. It's like, go. So that's where I had. And then when I got to the States, I thought it was just a table. Hindi, parang may mini lunch and everything, 'di ba, special. And then it's like, "Okay, how much do I owe for tax?" And they're like, "Ah, nah." It's like, "Okay, thank you." So that's how I started in the States. And I saw like-minded individuals who published on their own. So, and then Smashwords was there. So they were trying to get us authors to publish through Smashwords. And now Smashwords got acquired. Or last year, Smashwords got acquired by Draft to Digital. Draft to Digital is actually easy to use, very, very easy, easier than Amazon. Um, if you guys have what's this questions on Draft to Digital, I will try to explain a little bit later. Okay, so let us move on. So very, very thank you to Yumi and the Pinoy indie authors for this. I really wanted to do this because I know there are a lot of young authors out there, or kahit na hindi ka young, young at heart, but have no idea in the publishing world, or maybe you are in publishing or you are getting published and you just have a lot of questions and don't know who to ask. I'm teacher Maita. I will answer your question. By the way, Steamerella was the first thing that I uploaded in my Amazon store. And this is my current bestseller, Lagimat. It is a tome of Philippine death myths, and yes, it is also available on Amazon. All right, so here is the presentation map. Because I just gave you an overview of my writing or my journey to publishing, I want you all to know the step by step. So we'll do the starting on your own, your writing process, which I will not touch, by the way, because your writing process is your own. Then you're going to have to find an editor. What kinds of editor are there? Now, there's traditional versus independent. Do you want to be traditional? Do you want to be independent? Or both? And if you're going to go with traditional, what do you need to know? So, your contract is actually your prenup. But if you're going indie, now what? So, we'll tackle that then. And then marketing and promotion. Both, by the way, you will be doing marketing and promotion for both, because even if you're traditionally published for major publishing houses, there are hundreds and hundreds of you authors. You're gonna drown there. So they really rely on the authors and yung hatak ng authors. Otherwise, wala, they're not gonna invite you to next time. And then, of course, ask away. Anything goes, you can ask. All right, so let's start. Starting. Okay, so your own writing process, iba-iba. Everybody has their own writing process. Me, I write best at night. When I'm in the shower, I think up of things. When I'm doing laundry, I think up of things. And then suddenly just something hits you in the head and you start writing. That's okay. Everybody has their own writing process. I have a friend, he is a script writer. What he told me is, because he's so busy with life and other things, but he really wants to make time for writing because this guy is multi Palanca award winner and he really, really, really needs to put time to writing. Otherwise, nothing gets done. His bread and butter is not the writing, it's other things, but the writing part is his feel good thing. So what he told me is, "Oh, I really allot a portion of my Sunday afternoon, 2 hours. If I don't write anything, I will write poetry, I will write my thoughts. I don't care what I write, just write something in those 2 hours in that Sunday." Like, okay, there you go. That's his way of writing. That's what he did. That's not my style, and it might not be your style. So it will depend on you guys what your style is. Okay, so I don't want to curtail anybody on your writing process. Everybody has their own writing process. I know this guy, he publishes on, I don't know if he's published yet, but I know a lot of his work is on Wattpad before. My gosh, that was in the days of NaNoWriMo. And this guy can really write 180,000 words in a month. And sometimes hindi pa tapos yung month, nagsha-shoutout na siya na tapos na siya. It's like, what? Oh my gosh, he's done already. He's very prolific. I suppose he has more time because I think that time he was still a student. So school type, and sometimes he says he types on his phone while he's commuting. Smart, because sometimes you're stuck in traffic, couple of hours, 3 hours, minsan 4 hours. It's useful to write something. I always have a paper and pen in my bag just in case my phone doesn't work, just in case an idea hits me. So, as I said, everyone has your own writing style, and some people are character driven, some people are plot driven, some people plan, and some people pants. Next, looking for an editor. So, you can't just give your book kanya na lang, even to publishers. They do not like, back then, they will forgive you pangit yung grammar. Ngayon, not anymore. If, let's say, kapos ka sa pera, you cannot hire an editor because, okay, ito, we're getting real here. I'm going to give some numbers na. How much for editing? Usually for editing, Philippine rate is piso per word. So if you wrote something 10,000 words, imagine 10,000 pesos din yan. Pwede kang makiusap, of course, sa yung editor na, medyo mabigat siya. Can we do a different price range? Kasi love ako ng editor ko. She gave it to me at 50 centavos per word. And for very long ones, it's 3 words, piso 3 words. So, pwede kayong mag-bargain. Okay, so that depends. For international editors, baka hindi kayo papansinin kung magbabargain kayo. All right, so what kind of editors do you need? You need a copy editor, and that means grammar. Pwede kayong tumipid dito if you get Grammarly or Quillbot or something like that to help you with your grammar issues. This one, you cannot, though. A line editor is different. A line editor is usually the one taking care of dialogues. Bakit line? Line as in your lines, get it? When you're speaking on TV, lines kaya line editor. They take care of dialogue. Now, if gusto mong maging film, balang araw, or animation, you really need a very good line editor. Alrighty. And then you have your developmental editor. Now, if nagtitipid kayo, your developmental editor could be your friend na kailangan super honest, because your developmental editor is supposed to be the one who will tell you if this book is sellable or not, and is going to tell you if this book has a lot of plot holes. Now, some publishing companies will offer the developmental part for free because they will read it anyway and tell you if it's sellable or not, or kulang ka pa ng work. But a real developmental editor will sit down with you at times, call you up to midnight, and really tell you, like, in chapter 3, nahulog siya sa bangin. Anong nangyari doon? Things like that. You cannot just pray the plot holes away. It doesn't work that way. You have to gagawa ka pa ng diagram para makita mo lang yung plot holes mo. But I guess that's the reality of it. All right. So where do you find an editor? Well, Facebook, and usually friends would recommend you, but there are websites that would offer editorial. Of course, please look for it in credible websites, kasi we don't want to get scammed out of our money, diba? So, alrighty, so let's start going to the meat of it. And the meat of it is What's best for you? Do you want to go independent, or do you want to go traditional, or do you want to go both? All right. So I am both. I am still being traditionally published. In fact, my publisher in Spain right now is wondering how they can send me some copies of my book. I actually don't know how much they're spending for, or they're selling my books, kasi I'm making kulit na my relatives abroad might want to buy. Please give me details. Um, Yan lang, medyo, I don't know, maybe it's language barrier because, we're quite dependent on Google Docs. So, hi, Amy. Yes, thank you for watching live. All right. So, this is something you will have to decide, traditional or independent. Which doorway will you go through? But as I said, you can be both. Okay. So, um, ano muna? What's my stance on AI? Just tell everybody, because a lot of people are having issues with this, and I'm going to round this out with the publishing stuff. Okay, so for me personally, my personal ethos is AI is a tool. You can use it ethically or unethically. Can you write with AI? You can write with, but you cannot write using AI for the whole thing. And at the same time, it also cannot draw everything for you, unfortunately. Okay, so how come mego mga iba dyan, they'll just put their ideas, type it in ChatGPT, and instant, it's a book, but it's trash. Believe me, I tried to read things like those just because I was curious. We're not yet there. As much as, wow, we're having strides in technology, we're still not yet there. Okay, so I do try to use AI experimentally. Those are some of my free books, yung nasa web novel, because there are some things that I just want to explore, but I just don't know how to write those genres. There are some genres that I write, there are some genres that I don't write. My experimental ones are in web novel. Um, what about for Amazon? I mainly use AI for grammar checks. What else can you use AI for ethically? Um, you can talk to it. I'm not joking. You can talk to it. Like, here, put this prompt in your Chat GPT, Gemini, or whatever you're using. Let's say you want to write something about werewolves. Okay, so hi, Chat GPT. Imagine we are in a world where werewolves are common here in the Philippines. So you're going to have to be very specific. Like in 2026, werewolves are acceptable here in the Philippines. They've been living here for decades. They're all over. They have jobs like regular people, and people treat them like, celebrities. Um, Give me some, and then you ask questions like, what do you think if, and then you ask the question, and then you just go back and forth. I'm like, you're talking to a person. Like, what do you think if this person did this, or what do you think if this werewolf had this kind of business? What do you predict he will have problems with? So then you get ideas like, oh, he might have tax problems because werewolf tax and Philippine tax are different tax. Yung mga ganyan. So those are some of the things that you can use AI for, especially if you don't have a friend to do back and forth with. Because sometimes your idea is a little too crazy. Sometimes your sisters just don't have time to listen to your craziness. So AI will listen to your craziness for you. As for the writing process, uh, not yet. Maybe because I'm such a control freak. So yeah. As for the art, I do have AI generate the art that I want, because sometimes it just doesn't come out how I want it. So what I do is I usually draw something like how I want. Like I want it here up to this area of the neck only, facing front, with this in her hair. And then I'm going to collage bits and pieces that I do want in her hair, color it up, and then run it through AI to give it the rendering that I want. Why do I do this? Because let's face it, they're sellable that way. Sometimes the art that I do is not as sellable for books as it is, what's this, AI generated. So Amazon will just All right, so let's move on. By the way, AI still has biases. Just so like balik balik balik. I just want to say that AI still has biases, and like for things like my cultural books, it cannot generate that. Why? Because it cannot distinguish types of Asians. Let me just tell you that. So it's one of those frustrating things. But I suppose that's really the limitations of AI. So they can't generate Filipino, they cannot generate Asian. Because the moment you write Asian, it'll look Chinese. Alrighty. I want to be traditionally published. Just put here, I want to be a trad wife. All right. So you want to be traditionally published. It has perks. They do spend for marketing, they do spend for promotions. You just have to help them along. But there are certain things that have to be clear. This is where you're going to have a prenup. Okay. So I'm calling it a prenup because that's exactly what it is. It's a prenup. You guys have to talk, or at least you have to ask the publisher what is in it for you and what is in it for them. What are your contributions to this, apart from writing, of course? Para klago. Klago lahat. Like, what's there, what's not there. The contract actually protects yourself. Um, Here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. I'm not going to name names, but there were, when I was starting, so that was more than 10 years ago. When I was starting, there were big publishers and small publishers who were medyo mahirap to work with. Not naman mahirap to work with, pero hindi clear kasi. Okay, so um, there was this one publisher who bought a lot of, I don't know kung napansin niyo, there was this one time where there were so many Wattpad books out in the market. They were really out there, like whole shelves of it, Wattpad books. And it wasn't just one publisher. There were a lot of publishers doing that. And each Wattpadder for their story, they were paid somewhere between 3,500 pesos to 8,000 pesos. I think only somebody got 12,000, but that was on the higher end. So medyo maliit. And we asked them, why would you allow na ganun lang kaliit just for your book? And their answer is because we want to get published. And then they didn't get published. They bought the book, they bought the rights, and then because there's a glut in the market, there's a lot, um, wala na, hindi na sila na-publish. Okay, so let's talk contract because si Liana, si Georgette, and they have a separate group for editors. They actually sat us down in a kapihan session and told us what to see in our contract. Man, tagal na yun. But hanggang ngayon, remember ko pa rin siya. It means that you girls really made an impact in my life and in my publishing life. All right. So these are the things that you have to keep in mind that should be in the contract. Maybe you can think of more, but these are the basics. Okay. The start date and end date of your publishing contract. What do you mean? So you have to ask like, kailan to mapapublish? And then they will say, okay, hindi mabilis yan guys. For me to get published in Spain, it took more than a year. After we agreed, so may maraming back and forth yan, and then may scheduled pa yan. Kasi, you're not the only one getting published. So there would be people before you, mauuna sila, and then nakaschedule ka. So mine took more than a year before it got published. Na-publish na daw. So they're not really very clear din na, oh, na-publish na pala. Please send me the link so I can share it. So yung mga ganon. So you have to know when is start date and end date. Let's say they will only publish your book for 5 years. After 5 years, you will have to go into another contract. So that's what I mean by start and end date. Why do you need this in your contract? You must put this in your contract because if you don't, when you get published, or when you don't get published, let's say they get your rights, they get your book to be published, and then nagka ganun ulit, there's a glut in the market, they cannot print because masyado pang maraming iba na mauuna sa'yo. And then what? You've been waiting 3, 4, 5 years. So you need an end date. So it has to state there na if you don't get, let's say, happy thoughts, bukas a publisher signed you up, your contract should state na within the next 3 years, so you give them a generous deadline. Within 3 years, kung hindi nila na-publish ang book mo, you have the right to take back your rights because you're the copyright holder and bring it to a different publisher. Yung iba, binibigyan nila ng 6 months lang because naghahanap talaga sa ibang publisher. So that's what I mean by start and end date. Okay. Next, print or ebook only. So in my Spanish publishers, they're only getting my print rights for Spain. My ebooks are my own. So I can print it here in the country if I so want to. Now, which countries will they distribute to? That's also part of it because some contracts will state na they're only for US, so you can distribute in Asia on your own, or sila na bahala worldwide, wag kang mag-publish, sila na bahala lahat. Yeah. Next, you have to state in the contract that you keep copyright. You keep your copyright because back then with the Wattpad publishing and all that, maraming nawalan ng copyright because it says in their contract na binili na ng publisher pati copyright nila. Worse is binili nila pati ang author name. Now you cannot publish under that author, especially if you are very successful. And then you decide to go on your own or go with a different publisher, then you can't because pati name mo, kinuha pala nila ang right. So you have to read that clearly. And if you cannot read your contract, please hire a lawyer to explain it to you. And if you have this list, some people said they ran the contract through ChatGPT and then asked ChatGPT away. I think that only works for the paid version. The free version parang may hirapan pa siya because you only have like a few credits. All right. Next, can you continue your series after this publisher? So there's this publisher, or there are publishers out there who allows and who don't allow. Let me give you guys an example of this if you can continue the series. I know this writer from the States. Very, very, very good friend of mine. I met her during the conventions, and we actually still talk on Facebook. All right, so she wrote this vampire novels that spanned so long. Oh my gosh, bata pa ako. When I finally met her, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're Carolyn Sparks. And then, so picture, sign, and then we exchanged, what's this, panalo pa ako ng book niya and all. Because she's known for vampire novels, she wanted to try something because she felt like, okay, my vampire novels, they're ending. That's it. It's 20 book span. I'm ready to retire. Now I want to just try something before I retire, which is fairy kings, fantastical dragon shifter. It's fantastical world set in a fantastical world. It's not urban fantasy like her vampire series is. So, yung publishers, yeah, were like, okay, we'll try with 3 books, but it's a 7-book thing because all of the crew that you will meet in book 1 is supposed to have their own story. Now after the third, this one being, I don't know, like she is tried and tested and stuff, and then after the 3 fantasy books, siguro not as many people bought it as her previous books. And so the publisher said, we will discontinue. But she's like, no, the fans are like, no, how will we know what happened to the 4 other guys? So she went to a different publisher. And I asked her, they allowed you to publish under a different publisher? Yeah, so the book covers for the other 4 guys will have a different cover than the first 3 ones. Pero ganyan talaga. And I suppose for us, para we'll know, okay, what happened to the other guys? So that's how or that's what I mean, if you can continue the series after this publisher. Next, you can keep your name if you leave. There are some publishers, especially here in the Philippines, yeah, that they will own even your name. So please, you have to look at that. Next, you must put this in the contract na if hindi kayo nagkaareglohan or something happened, hindi kayo happy with each other, and you had clause for termination of your contract, that said publisher cannot badmouth you or ban you in other publishers. Okay, so that should be also in your contract because there are some very vicious, this one, Filipino publishers who are like that, especially the small ones. I don't know why. They think they can do that, but that's not very ethical, diba? So, okay. So, also put in your publishing contract what happens if they don't print or publish in a year. That's what I mean by the start date and end date of your contract, okay? Then payment schedules. This is also important. When we were still under Buko, we were still under Summit Media, um, it was actually monthly. But I would tell them, can I just go there every other month or every 3 months? Because medyo malayo-layo ang Robinsons sa amin. Nasaan siya? What's this? You know that building sa likod ng Pioneer, which is also owned by Robinsons? All their Summit, all their Robinsons stuff are all there. You have to go to the accounting office and get your payslip there. But it was very satisfying because you go there like, ooh, I have a check. So yeah. Okay, so payment schedules are there because there are certain publishers here, and I learned this from very good friend Dean Alfar, that even Philippine publishers will take a year or minsan 3 years now before they get paid. I feel this too because I will not say who. Hanggang ngayon, they already sent me my what's this uh sales slip. My check is still not here, and it's been a year. It's been a year. My fault because there was no payment schedule. Actually, no, the payment schedule was no, it's actually in there. It does say when my they're like, hintay lang po, nasa accounting na. There. Next, copyright protections, and they have to defend you. This will also be in the contract. Let's say, scenario, uh, somebody infringed on your copyright. They took a portion of your book, they misquoted you something. Your publisher has the right to go after them, especially if that publisher applied your ISBN for you. Why does that matter if they applied it and you applied it? If they applied it, nakalagay sa ISBN under their name. If somebody searched the ISBN, they will see the publisher's name. So, kumbaga, the publisher's honor is also at stake. So, they have to help you defend your copyright, especially if hindi mo naman kasalanan. Meron talagang nag-infringe ng copyright mo. So, those are the basics of what you have to put in the contract. I'm sorry for being so long, but I'm hoping that I get to answer as much questions that you have. All right. So, what about independent? I want independence. So, all right. So, what do you need? You have to go through all the steps on your own. You have to have a beta reader, your editor, you upload your own book, you promote your own book, you sell your own book. So, I'm a bit of a control freak, so a lot of my books are independently published. Also, because some of the books that I want to write are a little too short to meet publishing standard. So I decided it's okay. I can put it on Amazon. All right. So those are the things. So you have to do everything yourself. What do you guys do? Should you go to Amazon or draft to digital? So here we are. I made this little chart. I don't know if nakita nyo in your screen. I hope it is very helpful. KDP, or Kindle Publishing Direct, or Kindle Direct Publishing, is owned and operated by Amazon, while Draft to Digital is the one who acquired smaller e-publications such as Smashwords. Both have print on demand. And so KDP or Amazon sells on ebooks. Sorry, they sell on their own. They have their own app, which is the KDP app or the Kindle app, while Draft to Digital sells cross platform. In other words, if you upload it there and you click that, yes, sell to all these, they will publish it in Ingram Spark, Barnes and Noble, KDP, and all those. I think there are more than 12 that they can sell to. Matagal lang ang process. It's easy to use, but there's a very long waiting time and you have to get your own ISBN. Lucky for you, libre ang ISBN sa Pilipinas. The steps for you to do your own ISBN is, first you have to register sa National Book Development Board through their website. Um, what's this? Just go through the steps nandun naman. Get yourself registered. It's also still free. And then you need yung number mo kasi. So you need to get published there. Sorry, not published. Registered there. Then you go to the IPO website or the National Library website and register for an ISBN. Okay, so these are the things I suppose that nobody told you. So it is nice for Draft to Digital. So I have both, but you cannot publish the same book for both because Draft to Digital will publish the same book in Amazon. So kung magkaka-conflict yan, may email ka na bakit may parang parehas na book here. So you are going to have to either click don't publish to Amazon in Draft to Digital or just publish it on Kindle. Unfortunately, Kindle sells more than the other platforms. Yun lang aking experience. Other people's experience might be different. Okay, so ease of use. For KDP, there's a learning curve, but once you know how to use it, okay na. Draft to Digital though is very very easy to use. You don't have to lay out the book or not as much as KDP. Basta meron ka lang mga headings and stuff in your Word and kaya na ni Draft to Digital to do the layouts for you. All right. So other things that you should know, yes, it sells more. KDP sells more. But Draft to Digital also has instant audiobook pero AI ang magbabasa for you. Okay, so there you go. Marketing and promotion. Why do you still need this even if you're traditionally published? Okay, so you need to promote yourself as an author, especially or in case that you guys want to switch to other publishers or if your contract has an end date, you want to get the most exposure and you want to make sure you promote yourself as a writer. And of course, you also need to promote and help promote your book because your publishers need it then. If you sell more, your publishers will keep publishing you. If you don't sell, they will discontinue your book. So, yun lang yun. Kaya tulungan lang. Okay, so here are my last words. Don't let anybody define you as a writer. Only you can do that. So, Yumi and I are multi genre authors because we love stories and ideas. We aren't bound by a box. So, you can't be just, oh, you should be just steampunk writer because you started with steampunk. Yeah, but sometimes I have, ideas for other things. So, yeah, there is no age limit to writing. One of my favorite authors when I was reading her, oh my gosh, college back when I was reading her, her name is Cassie Edwards. She started publishing at 60 years old, and she published more than 4 dozen books. And don't let anyone define you, not age, not anything, not gender, not whatever. Because this woman, she is 60 and she writes Native American romances. Ngayon, now in this day and age, we are such cancel culture people, we might have to actually cancel her before she even publishes it. Back then, walang ganyanan eh. You have a very good idea, she portrayed them very respectfully, it is very nice, so, you know, why not? Hi, Yumi, nawala ka
Hi.
kanina.
No, I left you have the stage.
Oh,
Sure.
okay, okay. So, okay. Now back to ano. There's no age limit and there's no time limit to getting writing or getting published. Kasi
Yeah.
every process is different and every publisher is also different. Now, what happens if you're angry at somebody? You can put them in your book. You can even put your friends in your book. Diba?
Correct.
So if you're not enjoying this writing process, then it's not worth your time. Unless, of course, you're a ghostwriter and need this as your bread
Mm.
and butter, then wala kang choice.
Mm.
But more or less, we we have to enjoy the process somehow. Sometimes the process of publishing medyo madugo,
Correct.
medyo masakit din.
Mm.
But ganyan talaga,
And
it's
masakit
worth
sa
it,
bulsa.
masakit sa bulsa. But kung at the end of it may rewards ka, like, oh, you got back your money, or
Mm.
you get lots of fans, you get published somewhere, well, consider it as an investment.
Yes,
Ang ano
it
ko lang
is.
is, the process of writing should be also enjoyable. 'Di ba, bakit ka pa nag-ano? And I guess it's the reason why for us writers, AI doesn't really work for us. We can't let AI write it for us because we
Yes.
enjoy the writing process.
Writing.
Use AI for other things. Generate your book cover, go back and forth. You can even ask it to fix plot holes. Like give it your outline and let it see your plot holes. It can do that for you because data in, data out. But if you just make it generate your book, wala, because as I said, data in, data out. It's an aggregator. It can't really write your book for you. Not yet anyways, but yeah. Okay, it's
Okay.
question and answer
So
time.
the space is now open now for your questions. So please, if you have questions, you can uh, send them through the comments. You can write on the comment section. I hope everyone had um, parang an understanding at least of how the self-publishing industry works, lalo na sa Amazon and KDP and draft to digital. Yun ang diniscuss ni Maita, especially the contracts for the traditional publishers. I think that's very very important, Maita, and very
Yeah.
helpful for for new authors out there who are sabihin natin gullible and impressionable
Hindi naman
author.
gullible, pero they just don't know kasi.
Oh
Even I
yeah.
didn't know that when I was starting. I really had very good friends who really helped me out. And I'm so sad because a lot of us are everywhere. I moved to Davao, Liana moved back to
Yeah,
Cebu,
eh.
Eileen moved
Magkakahiwalay
to
na tayo.
Bulacan. Oo nga eh, we're all in different places.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even
But
si Yayet, I miss Yayet
yeah.
was with me during that first batch.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Okay.
Yes.
Kasi I met you sa ano na, ano, sa um, heist, sa heist na book natin,
Yes,
anthology
yes,
natin.
that was a little later na, pero si
Yeah.
Yayet really started with heist na rin eh. Ako, I concentrated on
Romance.
romance kasi
Yeah.
president of what's this?
Romance writers of the Philippines, right?
Philippines. So nga, we should do something
So,
for that then.
yes,
Because
definitely.
we kind of
Definitely.
lay load since pandemic. We have to like come back with a bang.
Yes. We are going to come back with a bang.
Yes. Yes.
I'm going to we're going to to uh ay sino ba to?
Oh, look, we have a
Wait.
question.
Okay.
Okay.
Sino may question?
Can you give a few tips on how to market your book or yourself if you choose to publish independently by Rhea Trillanes? Okay, Rhea, here's what you can do. The pinaka basic is social media. Kumbaga, that's a no-brainer
And
question. You have to have
and
the usual.
and free.
And it's free. And it's
And
free.
free. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to have the usual. You have a page. Make sure you have a separate page as an author because
Yes.
you don't want to use your private personal page to, it's best if you have an author page, make an author page for your name as a writer and
Mm.
put it there. If your name is the same as your writer name, you can put author and then your name. So, like me, I put author Maita in my Facebook. Um, Ngayon, a lot of people are finding success in book talk. So,
Oh
itinitiktok mo
yeah.
yung ano mo. You,
On
you don't have
TikTok.
to
Yeah.
dance. Don't worry. You don't have
Mm.
to dance. You don't have
Mm.
to sing.
Mm.
You can just talk about your book on TikTok
Ah,
because malaki talaga ang reach. Nakita ko yon. Malaki ang reach ng TikTok
yeah.
compared to Facebook.
Facebook
Malaki ang
and
reach.
Instagram.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah. Instagram, ako hindi pa masyado. You get a lot of ads though, people wanting you to join stuff on Instagram, but I don't want to because you start joining them and then suddenly they start asking for money. No thanks. Warning lang ah. Okay, next. This one will take a bit of money, but what you can also do is join things. Let's say may convention sa ganyan, join. uh, let's say
Mm.
meron ka ng book, makiki-join ka doon. So may cost to because number one, you have to print your book and then baka may table share ka. Kung let's say you guys get a table, it would help kung like tatlo or lima kayo to a
Mm.
table, pag divided by 3 to 5 yung cost din ninyo. Um, Always have like little calling cards of you as an author. And then ang ginawa ko for the states is so yung everything nandyan sa front page like author, Maita author. Tapos yung Facebook, Instagram, ganyan. Wala pang TikTok back then. So,
Mm.
Instagram. Oh my gosh, nabutan ko pa multiply. That's how old I am. Anyway, lahat ng ano, nilagay ko na sa front. Tapos sa
Mm.
likod, I have pictures of my book.
Mm.
Kahit images lang. Because, when they say don't judge a book by your cover,
It's
not
not
in Amazon. You
true.
have to judge the book. Your book
You
will be
have, you
judged
have
sa cover. So
every
when they
book.
see, oh, ang dami ko nakuhang tips yung nasa
Mm.
States. Like,
Mm.
the reason why kailangan may abs kapag if it's romance, especially paranormal romance, you're gonna have
Yeah,
to have abs and fangs in
in
the
the
same book,
cover.
in the cover. Yes. So that they'll get it. Now, oh, it's
Mm.
paranormal
Mm.
romance. Diba? So if
Yeah,
it's like teen fiction, it's usually like drawn, vectorized. So yung mga ganon. Kaya
illustration.
you need pictures of your book sa likod ng calling card. So hindi naman super mahal magpa-print. Sometimes I just print it on my computer. Dito lang.
Yeah, your
That's
own.
okay naman eh.
Mm.
You also make some bookmarks of your book. Siguro
Mm.
may quote, tapos may QR code and gano'n. Give it away. Always have some in your bag so when the opportunity arises, mamimigay ka.
Mm.
I go to a lot of teacher events because I do have children's books and teen fiction. So I go to a lot of, and also I'm a teacher. So I go to a lot of teacher events, education events, and marami akong ballpen. Tapos naka-sticker yung pangalan ko, yung website ko lang, naka-sticker doon yung website ko. So www.maitaru.com. Or you can direct them to your website. So websites are also a good thing to have. If you
Yeah.
don't have it yet, you can make one through maraming libre dyan, but you could also do it through Blogger and then bumili ka na lang ng pangalan.
Mm.
So I bought, ayan, I'm disclosing everything na. I bought my domain name lang, in Alibaba. Okay, so
Mm.
you can because Alibaba does have that service. And then I used Blogger because hindi ako marunong gumawa ng website. So instant na si Blogger.
Website.
Kinostomize ko lang, of course.
Mm.
I put my own banner
Mm.
and I put my own background because kailangan palitan ko na nga eh, because it's very predominantly steampunk. But now
Mm.
I actually write a lot of cultural books ngayon.
Yeah,
So
multi ka na, multi-genre ka
very,
na.
very multi. I
Mm.
started with steampunk books and then jumped to paranormal romance
Yeah.
and then jumped to what's the
Mythology. Mythology.
mythology. Actually, I have to thank you for that because I didn't think I had the K to publish in mythology kasi wala. Ano lang, talagang, one of those. Um, I
It's a
actually have,
pleasant surprise to all of us.
oo nga eh. Now, I have a folder. Yan din. Here's what you guys can do then. I have a folder in my computer called the word vomit folder.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, si
Brainstorming
Liana
folder.
naman sabi niya ano, eh, word diarrhea. Sabi ko, "Ayoko naman word diarrhea, grabe naman." Sabi ko, word vomit na lang kaya. I think mas malunok ko ang vomit kaysa diarrhea. Oh my gosh, and then anyway, so I have that. There's like more than a dozen books pa rin nandoon na hindi published. Some of them are not done, and some of them I feel are a little too experimental. Yeah.
I also have those notebooks. But recently, puro words lang. 2 to 3 words. Tapos, when I have the time, I read them through. And then, I can I can form a story na out of those. Sometimes it's only dialogues, diba? Between
Yeah,
characters.
dialogue. It starts with ano. Sometimes I have a document na it's just a conversation between two
Mm.
people.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, ganun lang. Kasi sometimes
Mm.
when the idea just strikes you and you just
Mm.
have to write it because
Yeah.
nandyan sa head mo, di ba? Type, 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 type,
It
type,
has to
type,
get
type.
out. It has to get
Yeah,
out there,
yep,
di ba?
yep. And then, I don't know, kung anong gawin mo doon, hindi mo pa alam eh. You know, you have a character, or you have a scene, a
Mm.
scenario.
Yeah.
So, yon actually, one of those, yung ganon, naging naging book talaga.
Oh.
Naging book talaga siya sa akin. Um, I wrote it during pandemic pa eh, because, sometimes you have to de-stress from all the stressful talaga yung pandemic sa akin.
Yeah,
Ang
yeah,
dami kong
yeah.
work.
Oh.
Anyway, sometimes you just want to write. So I started to
Mm.
just write yung mga in-between times when you're waiting for your students.
Mm.
So I was just writing about this vampire talking to the bartender. Just ranting to the bartender na I found this girl. She doesn't look like the usual typical vampire mate,
Mm.
because this vampire, he's tall, black hair, may abs, mayaman, that, your
Yeah.
standard typical vampire. Pero nung nakita niya yung girl who has half of his soul, literally half of his soul, he's like, okay, she's short, she's fat, she has a dead toe, you know, talagang, ano ba yan? Mabait siya.
Yeah.
Maganda ba siya? Mabait siya. Yung mga ganon. So, yun yung parang back and forth niya sa bartender. Tapos, yung parang napatanong lang yung bartender, okay, mabait pala siya, gusto mo pala siya. Ano ba, yung parang, are you concerned about outward appearance lang? Tapos siya naman, of
Mm.
course, pabebe na, oh no, hindi naman ako, shallow. Yung mga ganon. Bale, parang pino-voice out na niya yung ano niya sa bartender. Which I kinda used that scene for iniba ko. Instead of kausap niya yung bartender, kausap niya yung friend niya. Parang nagbe-beer silang dalawa. Tapos just talking about. Naging book talaga siya. So yung mga ganon, if you guys have things like those, and I have a lot, huwag niyong itapon. Just leave it in your folder, save it
Yeah.
in the cloud, and malay nyo, it will get published. I'm
In
actually going to publish this. Book one is already out on Smashwords, but
wow.
yet silent lang ako because I don't want to launch until I put out all three of them. The other two, medyo, yung isa nasa editing process, yung isa medyo kulang pa ng konti, hindi ako happy sa
Yeah.
ending. It starts with one thing. Yung lola nung isa, uh, alam niyo yung sa province where they have like, sort of manghuhula, parang ganon.
Babay lang.
Not quite bailan eh. Pero yung parang Madam Auring ba, yung parang manghuhula from the province. So she told these three best friends, yung ano niya, granddaughter niya and yung dalawang best friend ng kanyang sino yung
Mm.
mapapakasalan nila? And
Mm.
then fast forward, patay na si Lola, wala na, they're in the city, graduate na, living their best lives, and then they start to wonder na, hey, magkakatotoo kaya yung sabi ni Lola na ganyan?
Mm.
And then yung isa, masyado niyang sineryoso. So this one's book one, which is out there. Sinabi kasi sa kanya ni Lola na ano daw, ah, ano daw, Angelo yung mapapakasalan niya or Angel, yung gano'n yung pangalan. So, ang dami niyang ni-reject kasi hindi naman Angelo yung pangalan 'no. Until
Okay.
she meets a guy named Rafael. Pala Archangel Rafael. But you get it. So,
Yeah,
yun,
yeah.
naging sila and then it was yung bandang ending nung nalaman niya,
Oo.
Rafael Angelo pala yung pangalan niya. He
It's
doesn't
it's
use
it's ano, it's a symbol lang. Yung
yes,
angel, it's an
something like that.
angel.
Oh. So,
So
yun yung
I I'd like to add then, kasi sinabi mo mga events, they should
yes,
attend events. So tayo sa PIA, meron tayong aklat sining ano. So siguro
that
mag-ano
one.
sila, mag-join sila sa
Join.
atin
Yes.
when we uh,
Even if hindi
have
pa sila
aklat
published.
sining. Yes,
Yeah.
pwede
Yeah.
yun.
You
Pwede
get to
yun.
meet people, you get to get
Introduce themselves, di ba?
introduce yourself, and you also get ideas na, "Oh, ganyan pala. This is what I can do. This is what I should be doing." Yung mga gano'n. You get a lot of tips from those, definitely.
Yeah, especially the Philippine Book Fest by
Open
NBDB,
Book
di
Fest.
ba?
Yeah, a
And
lot of the
And the
books
Manila
natin nandun
International
naman,
Book
eh.
Fest.
Yeah, yeah. And even if like example ano 'to, yan yung mga book fest natin,
Mm-mm.
Philippine Book Festival or, what's this, MIBF,
Mm-mm.
ah, hindi naman talaga may bayad yun, eh, 'di ba? I-download mo lang yun sa National Bookstore, libre naman.
Mm-mm.
Pagkatapos ka naman
May
libre.
ticket lang yun. But it's for
Ha?
entrance
Yung ticket?
lang.
Sa
Pero
ano,
they can enter naman. They can enter
yeah,
naman.
i-print mo lang, 'di ba?
Oh, Elaine says, I love the tips, Miss Maita.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so do we have other questions? Ikaw, Yumi, can you think of other things to add?
Okay. We'll just ask muna si Rhea if it's ano na, it's okay na sa kanya yung mga answers if she has listened to it.
Mhm.
I think so, no? So, yun nga, I would like to add, if you want to market your book, you can join our Aklat Sining. We will be having that this year. Just like and follow our page for the for updates on when it is going to be. And for additional tips siguro Maita do sa self-publishing, no? Um, I think when you self-publish print books, you need to have a reliable printer.
Yeah.
Magpi-print ng books mo. So, right here then in the Philippines, marami ng mga nagpi-print ng mga books ano. And in
Yeah. And
dito,
guys, you can print your own. I'm not joking. I-print ko lang to sa computer ko. Nagbili lang ako ng yung steel
mm,
binding machine.
yeah,
There
yeah,
you go. I printed it myself here in my little Epson computer na nasa bahay.
yeah.
Sometimes people are okay naman with just like that.
Mm.
Yeah,
Especially
you can.
because
Yeah.
you're starting out lang muna, di ba? As a self-published author. Rhea says it's more than okay. Thank you very much. Okay.
By the way, if you're
Yeah.
publishing on ebook, also take note that the moment you press publish on ebook, you're actually competing with international
Yeah.
authors
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Thousands.
We're connected via the internet. So all of a sudden, you're now an international author because you're published on platforms like Amazon. So, ako, since I was already starting on Amazon, I put my first two, three books there already. I went all out when I went to the States for the book lovers convention. Oh my gosh, talagang I have to have giveaways. I had to
Mm.
have a lot of naloka sa akin yung sister ko kasi sumama siya sa akin. Ang laki-laki ng maleta ko, sinagad ko yung ano 'to, talagang the works. Kasi
Uh,
I needed to be seen. lubos-lubusin mo na, nandun ka na, magkano binayad mo. The
Correct.
the convention fee was at that time kasi early bird kami, $495.
Wow.
So,
For how
yes,
many days?
uh, 1 week.
1 week.
Pera
Oh.
hotel yun, that's just
Mm,
convention fee.
mm, mm,
And we didn't want to be malayo
mm,
from ano 'to, where it was. Saan nga
mm,
kami yun? I forgot. I think we were in
mm,
the
mm,
Hilton man ata.
mm,
Um, so but you get to meet a lot of authors there, and you get to be friends with them. Maging nice ka rin ha, and you get to meet iba-ibang klaseng people. Iba talagang international na mga conventions. I know not a lot of people have the resources to go to international conventions. It's the reason why when we come home from mga international conventions, I really meet with as much people as I can, and I try to share everything that I learned there. So when I was in the States for the Romantic Times, Book Lovers Convention, twice ko palang nakapunta because after that year, they stopped it na. And then, ano nga nangyari nun? Oh yeah, pandemic. Pandemic na pala. Ano nga nangyari? Bakit na-stop yung pandemic pala? Um, they did try to make it into a more general book lovers convention, but it's no
Yeah.
longer romantic times. It's just book lovers convention. So parang anything goes na siya.
Mm,
Pero hindi na daw gano'n. I asked yung mga friends ko sa States, it wasn't as big as when it was really,
mm,
hosted by Romantic Times.
mm,
Oh, yun talagang you will feel special, you know? You will get invited to a Harlequin party, as in Harlequin Publishing.
mm.
Pagpunta mo doon, wow, may bag ka, may tumbler ka na Harlequin, and then you get books in the bag. Oh my gosh, pauwi ko, meron ako isang balikbayan box worth of 3 books, as in libre.
Yeah. Ang
Gano'n nga
galing
siya
eh.
shower nung ano.
Mm,
Pagtapos nun wala na. It's not like before na. Back then they were so generous. Tas I tried to ano pa, oh mag ano ako, for the book fair, Harlequin na book fair. So Harlequin had a special book fair na kanila lang. So ako, I will volunteer para I meet people and stuff. Okay. Inassign nila ako tiglagay ng balloon. Yun lang. As in, I have to, kasi meron lang parang mga premier authors, parang ganon. Parang chosen premier
mga
na authors.
bestseller. Mga
Google, or maybe
best-selling
they're
author.
trying to promote those particular authors.
Mm,
Kailangan talian ng, sila lang ang pwede kong talian ng balloon doon sa kanilang chair.
mm,
So maaga pa lang na doon na ako sa center habang hindi pa nagpapasok ng tao. Hahanapin ko yung chair nila. So I'm not joking, there are 500 writers that day. Hahanapin ko yung kanilang table,
mm.
tatalian ko ng balloon. Tapos dalawa lang kami to do that. It's like, by 10 o'clock, kaka-open pa lang, pagod na ako. Pero buti na lang,
But at
just
least
before
you
closing, may perks
contributed
din kami.
something, no?
Yeah, may perks din
Mm,
kami.
mm,
Pagtapos na, so ending na, meron kaming 15 minutes na kami lang mga volunteers bibili.
okay.
So,
Talaga.
we can go around and buy whatever, pa-sign, kami lang nandoon. So, at least, nakahanap. Merong ano din, merong books for sale and merong mga libreng books. Smashwords, nag-sponsor ng party. St. Martin's Press, nag-sponsor ng party. Yung mga ganon. And then, it is a very good experience to have. I don't know if you have the resources here. Maybe one day, tayo here at DIA, we can
So,
bring some of those here.
yeah, so we
Yeah,
can do that
especially
there.
the learning part. Kasi the learning part, like, ito ha, they have trends. Tayo hindi tayo
Oh,
nagpapansin ng mga ganyan. Actually, I do. I just, maybe sometimes I don't because I
what
write what I want
trend?
to.
What
Example, ito,
trend?
trends. So, during the mga conventions, hindi naman all the time party. Nakaschedule lang yung party. It's usually lunch or dinner. So most of the major publishing will schedule sa gabi, and the smaller publishers will sponsor something during lunch. So in between, as in maaga pa lang, 8 a.m. start na yan ng convention. As in, I don't care kung wala akong tulog. I'm going to attend as much as I can because matututo ka talaga. There are some workshops to help you hone your crafts, and there are some workshops on trends.
Mm-hmm.
Example, I went to the paranormal trends. Ano ang trending na ano that time? So this was just pre-pandemic. So they were having this now every year. They take note of the trends, especially yung mga writers na mabilis mag-write and they really write for the trends.
Yeah.
Um, was it vampire versus werewolf? So that time, uh, really vampire na
Vampires.
nanalo. How about shifters? Ano ang pinaka-popular na animal na shifters? At that time, lion. Lion shifters was the one na talagang on the top. And then parang second na sa kanya yung bears. So after no, naging parang punong-puno ng bear shifters. And then, so yung mga ganun. Ngayon, I wasn't able to keep track anymore kasi after the pandemic, hindi ko na alam anong nangyari.
There's something now that's called K-lytics. I think K-lytics. Parang they put out what are
Oh,
the
yeah, 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 yeah. Yep,
bestseller books, the
yep.
genres that
They
are
they
best.
ano, they base it on Kindle.
Yeah, or
Kaya siya
Amazon.
K-lytics. Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that.
K-lytics.
May bayad yun, di ba?
There's a free version pero meron yata yung they where the free version gives you just parang a summary or something like that. Tapos you have to pay to get the ano, the
Yeah. Yeah.
complete survey or the complete ano complete yeah survey kasi they actually survey the buyers or the authors I think
Yeah.
or Kindle itself.
Yeah. So for those writers out there who kasi may ganyan eh. Some writers do want to ano, to what do you call this? They really do follow the trends
Mm,
because they really want to do writing for a living.
yeah.
So, kung sabihin ng publishers or ganyan, the K-lytics will tell them, ay, ang uso ngayon is dog shifter or ang uso ngayon is animal na rabbit or ganyan.
So
Na ano,
they'll write it.
yes. And then, mabilis din sila mag-write. And this was in the era before AI. Kasi di ba AI came, kailan? Couple of years ago lang.
Yeah.
And
So
siguro last year lang yung talagang you can write with AI. Pero prior to that, talagang hindi.
yeah, yeah.
So, this was before the era of AI and man, there are very prolific people out there. And kung ganon, there are trends. And that's the nice thing about KDP and Kindle because you are not bound by word length.
Yeah.
So there are some readers who are okay to read 3 to 5,000 words lang. So mabilisan lang siya. You can finish the book in a couple days. Or pwede mong todohin, isang buong araw, inubos mo na yung book. So
Meron
yung mga
silang ano eh, may category sila na 30-minute reads. Yeah.
masyadong
Uh,
maiksi, sa 30-minute
1
read siguro ano na
hour
yan,
read.
1,000 words
Yeah.
or
But
1,500
they
words.
accept that. They accept that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. For paranormal readers kasi din, ito din, this is part of the trends. Paranormal romance readers don't like very short.
Mm.
Gusto nilang maraming details. You need to explain how shifters work. You need to you need to tell them how shifter society works.
Mm.
Ba yun ang gusto ng mga ano. You cannot just surprise because ganyan sila.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to, you're navigating in this world na ganon like okay, I'm going to give an example my book. In one of my books, I have anto I sorry, may tao. In one of my books, in that place, it's modern day Pilipinas, but they have accepted vampires, werewolves, shifters. Now, how will they deal with everyday living? Like in my case, itong mga werewolves, meron silang sariling business.
Mm-mm.
Yung vampire na best friend niya, may sariling gym. So, yung
Mm.
mga ganon. So, things like,
Yeah.
taxes, Philippine taxes. process, ganyan. Kasi ano
Mm,
sila, foreigners who wanted to open a business here because medyo booming tayo, di ba? We are one of
mm.
those booming countries and we are actually, because for context din, because I am in a lot of DTI events, don't ask how napadpad ako doon. Because I'm in a lot of DTI events, nakikita ko yung mga ano nila na, oh, to invite international investors here. So, naisip ko, oh, if my international investor is a werewolf with his team of mixed na mga shifters and
Yeah.
stuff, and then they're here, and then the things that they have to deal with from nosy Philippine relatives to nosy Philippine taxes, yung mga ganyan, di ba? Parang, oo nga, no?
Maganda yun,
Mapapaisip
ah.
ka.
Magandang story yun.
Antayin mo lang, lalabas na siya. Nasa editing phase. Ko-connect ko siya sa mga iba kong paranormal na books, eh. So, dati kasi hindi talaga
Wow.
connected sila. Ngayon, sabi ko, "Oh, kaya ko sila i-connect."
Oo. Kaya talaga lahat. Basta fiction.
Yeah, because it's your world. And
Mm,
ito kasi I didn't put this under any traditional publishers. This
mm,
is talagang solely
mm,
um, mine. So, I am
mm,
putting it on KDP. Sorry, I'm not putting it on Smashwords because
mm.
uh, ano eh,
Smashwords is
matagalang proseso.
draft to digital na, di ba?
Yeah, draft to digital Smashwords, yeah.
Mm,
So draft to digitals, yes, it's very easy to upload.
mm,
Pero hindi siya instant. The moment you upload it, it takes months before you approve. Unlike
mm.
sa KDP. Kung tried and tested ka na, i-upload mo ngayon, mamayang gabi, approve na yan. Although it will tell you up to 72 hours. You upload it this morning, ngayong gabi nandiyan na.
Kasi they have their own, they have their own
Yes, yes,
platform.
yes.
While D2D
Wala. They
sends your book
cross-publish.
to other
Yeah.
platforms.
Yep.
So
They
they
did
should.
retain the Smashwords na website. So
Mm,
you can still read it there. Pero you can also cross-publish it kasi may click, click, click. May checkbox yan eh. Pwede mo na may check all.
mm,
So lahat na ng ano, sites doon. Um, in terms of getting paid sa Smashwords, which would be nicer to other people because they accept, anong tawag to? PayPal. So
oh,
all you need,
really?
yeah, yeah. So
Mm.
there. I hope
But
that
they,
helps. All
but,
you
but
need is
they,
PayPal. It's
they
faster to
still have
PayPal
a,
than bank account. Kasi bank account may minimum threshold. Although meron ng minimum threshold for PayPal, pero mas maliit.
uh,
Something like $10 or
yeah,
$15 lang. While the account mo sa bank, I think you have to minimum $150 or something.
mm.
So yeah, you can use PayPal.
I think I have to visit my, my account na. Kasi I've been ignoring the
If
Smashwords
you haven't,
emails and the D2D emails. Kasi
oh
na,
no, alam mo, most of your books mawawala. You have to nandiyan lang na parang
mm,
nagda-draft sila, pero you have to re-upload it. Parang go back to the draft and then just
yeah.
click it back na ano.
Nag-focus ako ngayon sa kasi sa print book. Kaya, yan.
Yeah. Ako naman nag-focus sa KDP because medyo mabigat ha. Because in my this other distribution platform who distributes my books for me and ang dami-dami kong print for them and isang taon na hindi na po bumabalik yung pera ko. So, medyo mabigat din.
Mabigat nga rin.
Mm. Pero where my books, especially my cultural books, are selling really, really well and kasalanan ko, hindi pa ako nakakapag-print, um, is in Escolta, dun sa hub
Yeah.
sa Escolta,
Yeah,
yeah.
sa hub.
Kay Sir Seb doon. I was telling Sir Seb nga that kung may space doon, because it's not very expensive yung pwesto doon. If meron pang space, kung may mag-open up na space, I was thinking if I could put up a small bookstore, like an actual bookstore.
Yeah, you should. You
I
should.
know, pero
Mm.
kailangan ko ng tao na ma-trust ko, na magbabantay doon because I'm
Oo.
here. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, and then, the inventory because hindi lang
Mm.
naman books ko. Books nating lahat. Pwedeng lagay.
Mm.
So you need to have a system that mabilis siyang mag-inventory and stuff.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about that.
Yes. Well, we'll have a nice new hangout book nook space there. Yeah, and it's very nice because it's historic building, historic area. See, Escolta really holds a spot in my heart because I met a lot of my historian friends there. The vibe kasi in Escolta is different. You get artists and historians in the same building, and you can just walk up to them and just chat them up. That's how I met Xiao Chua. I just walked up to
Mm.
them like, "Oh, are you a
Really?
historian?" And it's like, "Yes, I'm Xiao." "Oh, hindi ko pa alam meron pala siyang Xiao time." Siya pa yung nag-ano, "Here, hanapin mo ko sa Facebook, sa ganyan, sa GMA."
Um,
GMA, 'di ba?
uh,
Xiao
uh,
time. And then doon, parang, "Oh, that's you. That's nice." Sila Stephen Go, he's a great historian because he
mm,
takes people around on tour, especially nung nawala na si Celdran.
mm,
Um, yeah, so he actually was the one who recommended me to go to the Philippine Post Office bago siya nasiga, nasunog. It was
mm,
really nice inside.
mm,
And then pinapasok pa ako and mga students ko dun sa back room. Tinur kami, personally tinur kami nung mga ano, nung mga postmasters doon. We met some artists who really made the stamps. So
mm,
talaga 'di ba, buti lang na na-experience namin yun before it got burned. You get a lot of ideas. Yan din guys, if you need like ideas for your stories, go
mm.
walk around.
Yeah.
Ako, I have for my steampunk, of course, because you know you get a mix of technology and ano, 'di ba,
Mm,
history. That's
yeah.
where I walk. I just walk and try to imagine. Ooh, 200 years ago or 150 years ago, what would this place look like? Paano ba yung mga tao here? Can you imagine? Ang init-init and you have to what are the things that you had to like come up
Uh,
with and ano,
uh,
especially sa Pilipinas, mainit tayo
yeah.
compared to like
Right.
if you were in London or in the
Mm,
States, which I
mm,
do have stories na set in the States. Nanalo pa yon.
mm.
Sayang, I wasn't able to keep any of yung mga certificates or something. Ewan ko bakit
Sayang, sayang.
pero hindi siya na-publish, yun lang sayang kasi
Mm,
pa-publish sana din.
mm,
Ah, I forgot. Pandemic hit, I think. It's the
mm.
reason why hindi siya na ano. Pero yun lang, at least meron akong claim to fame. Gano'n.
Yeah.
Na at do'n ko naki-gauge kasi
Oo
na
naman.
can compete internationally and you guys can too. Why? Because yung mga ibang bestsellers doon, and I know because pinapamigay nila yung libro nila na, "Oh, this is my number one bestseller." And during
Mm,
conventions, they really give it away. So, hihingi ka ng copy, pa-sign mo sa kanya. Pagdating
mm.
sa eroplano, binabasa mo, horrendous grammar. Ano ba 'to? Okay ba dito? Hindi ba siya nagamit ng Grammarly? Oh my gosh! So, please, kung wala kayong
Mm,
editor, mag-Grammarly man lang kayo.
mm,
And kung ayaw mo mag-Grammarly, fine. Sulatin mo siya sa Google Docs because Google Docs also helps correct.
yeah.
Mas maganda, of course, kung meron kang Grammarly or Quillbot. I have Quillbot. You could also use Grammarly. You could use both. Nakakainis lang if you use both because dalawas lang mag-aaway on how to correct your ano, your grammar. So there.
So,
So
yeah.
I think we
Uy,
don't
si
have
Edlin
more.
is watching. Okay,
Oh,
Edlin.
yay. Do we have any more questions?
Questions? May questions pa kaya? Hmm.
Okay, so mukhang wala nang ibang nag ano, I'm looking at the page if anybody's asked. Wala na. All right. So let us
They can replay naman this eh. Tapos they can
yes.
send questions to the
Yes.
Pinoy Indie authors or
Yes.
directly to Maita if you want. Ayan no, meron
Here
siyang
sa Pinoy indie authors, definitely, definitely. Babalikan ko itong ating stream later in case may nag-iwan ng questions.
mm,
We will try to answer.
mm,
Kasi guys, take this opportunity na because as I said, somebody did this for me.
mm,
Okay. Before the era of streaming, of TikTok, and of all that, they really made their way to meet with us in a cafe and
mm,
teach us all this. Ngayon, I am teaching you guys this. You don't need to give me any coffee,
mm,
although it would be appreciated. But yeah, um, there. I'm sharing with you guys my journey so that you would know what you can do, what the options are that are available for you. Because especially right now, mas maraming opportunities now than
Yes,
before.
correct.
Before, you had to get published by a traditional publisher.
Mm,
Pero, alam mo, medyo rebelde ako nun. Alam mong how I really started to do my own thing even before I got published under Buko, even before Liana pushed me into publishing, I started to just write small things. Ano lang, yung mga tipong one paragraph, one page, and then may
mm,
konting drawing ko. I'm
mm,
not doing Xerox lang, and
mm,
then stapled lang, and we sold it because I wasn't the only one doing that. Kasama ko mga comic artists, of course, but there were others who did short stories.
yeah.
Xerox, naka-booklet lang yung mukhang souvenir program sa graduation, ganun lang gawa namin.
Those are zines, right? Diba?
Hindi pa uso ang zines. The
Oh,
term
oh,
zines was not yet coined back then. This was in the
oh,
era of what's this, Comic-Con, Comic-Con,
oh,
nung
okay.
nasa UP pa kami. So
Oo.
this was, oh my gosh, this was 20 years ago. This was 20 years ago, oh my gosh. Yeah, gano'n.
That
Kasi
was so long ago.
ay di naman, 15 years ago kasi meron ng
Hmm.
Tailcraft because Tailcraft sponsored the booth nito.
Okay.
So, when we were starting to do Tailcraft, so it's a story creation game, and then we were encouraging people to use it, of course. So we sponsored
Hmm.
booths
Hmm.
in Comic Cat, in that time nagaano pa kami, ano tawag to, Toycon.
Hmm.
So, we allowed them kasi we had like 2 tables. One table, of course, naka-display yung Tailcraft. The other table, we allowed anyone who used our Tailcraft to put their books there. Of course, they have to print it on their own. Pero sila na bahala magbenta.
Hmm.
So, there were a lot who signed up with us. And then, take turns sila, magbebenta sila ng mga libro nila. That's where we all started. So, I thought, wala pang Comic-Con lang yan. Hindi ko na pinansin. And then,
Hmm.
there, fast forward a little later, Diana's like, why aren't you published? And I'm like, I didn't know. Nahiya
Maybe
ako eh.
maybe we can invite Liana one time to
Yeah, kung
ano,
nandiyan siya sa Manila. Yep.
to ano.
Or you
Hindi,
can do
kahit
via Zoom.
online, right?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
she can share again her her
Yun, mas maraming
wisdom
tips kasi
and
siya
her
editor. So, mas
tips.
marami siyang horror stories to share.
Yeah, di ba? So, sana we can invite her to to join us and help us kasi this kind of of talk helps a lot of indie authors, especially Pinoy
Yes.
indie authors, right? Especially those who want to go into self-publishing. So, yon.
Yes. Definitely. Definitely. So, yun. Diba?
Yes. Ayan, si Fred,
Yes.
nanonood si Fred. Tsaka, si Ami says,
Fred,
your voice is very beautiful. Thank you.
thank
Maita
you.
talaga is very articulate. Miss Liana was our editor in Summerfields.
Yes,
Oh,
she is.
yeah. Anthology. Di ka kasama doon, Maita?
Huh? Sorry?
Summerfield. Sama ka rin no? Sa Summerfield.
Hindi.
Ay,
Hindi. That time I published something different at the
oo.
same time, yeah. I think I published my Werewolf the book.
Mm. So, yan. Si Miss Liana. Sana marinig niya tayo. Yan. Hi, Maita, sabi ni Fred.
Yes.
Fred. Miss
Hi,
natin si
Fred.
Maita. Tagal na nating di na si Maita nakita online.
Oo nga
I,
eh.
I remember
Tayo
our
nagkakaano
first,
eh.
di ba yung ating online parang session or seminar by Carl on the
Yes.
Manananggal. That's our,
I was
he
actually
taught us
encouraging
a
Carl
lot.
to do something na mythology. Kasi yun talagang specialty niya eh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oo,
he's
dapat.
launching, oh my gosh, I think today he's launching something. Ah, hindi,
Oh,
sorry. Next month, next month. Kala ko today. Next month, he's launching something.
but he was a big help to us then. sa
Yes.
manananggal kasi ang dami yung shinare na information and research on the manananggal. You know.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Hope
So
hope in the future we can also again ano he can also join us in our collab, no?
yes. Yeah, we can do
Ikaw
a lot.
rin, tsaka ikaw rin.
Ito na lang, kung
Nagpahinga ka eh.
kung makakuha ko ng free na booth sa MIBF, lilipad ako. Kasi ang
Yes.
mahal ng
Ah,
ticket. Grabe ang mahal ng ticket papuntang Manila. I don't know. Here's the thing ha, ito ha. I really feel like the powers that be, the people who rule this world, tinutuyong nila, they're doing this on purpose na, i-increase, ganyan. Yung, hindi naman talaga dapat tayo Philippines, affected dyan sa Strait of Hormuz. Bakit tayo affected? We don't even get most of our gas there. I think we only get like 10% of our gas there. And then all of a sudden, may roving blackout sa Manila and some areas dito. I'm like, why? We don't use gas for our electricity. Yung ganon. So like, ay nako. Yun na yun. What I'm going to, I don't know if I can like insert this because I want to insert this into my story dyan yung aking book, Netflix,
that's
Agenda
the
2030.
that's the best
UN
revenge.
Agenda 2030. Yung mga conspiracy theorists out there, oh my
Ah,
gosh, search nyo, matatakot kayo. Alam ni Amy, oh, kaya siya nagka-crying face dyan. Di ba,
mm,
Amy, you know this.
mm,
Agenda 2030 ng UN. Matatakot ka. Even us, like authors, I don't know how we're going to survive that Agenda 2030.
I hope hindi nga mangyari yun.
Yes. But plugging my book over here, which is NEF XY,
Okay?
yes, I am very liberal about how I use Bible prophecy here. But what I'm trying to let the younger ones kasi do is um love reading the Bible because it's more than a storybook.
No
It's
ilaw.
no ilaw.
Sabi ni Abby.
No ilaw sa kanila.
Wala raw
Oh, okay.
yata.
So she must be on mobile.
Mm.
See, tapos here's a funny thing, nagtawag yung aking brother, sabi niya ba, ano ba yan? Pinapa-online kami dalang mahal-mahal ng gas. Tapos roving blackout. Di ba? Ano to? Anyway, so yeah.
Ah,
Um,
so yun.
this is my
Explain mo na
book
lang
about prophecy rolled
kung ano yung
into
plot ng
trans.
book mo.
Neph XY because it's Nephilim.
Mm.
XY because it's XY chromosome. Because it deals with bloodlines. And you will find that out later pa in the series. It's ngayon nag-hint-hint. 2 books are out, all collab with PIA. So major
Yes.
plug, di ba?
Mm.
So Neph XY, the first one, Emergence of Giant, is because kapre siya. And yes, he heads a team of other children who have powers then, and some of them cannot control it. So the main character here, Stanzo, the one in the cover, is the one trying to help these kids because he's a kid himself. He's only 17 years old. And pagka 18 years old niya, mawawala na yung powers niya. So that's the lore here. Between 7 years old to 18 years old, you have your powers. Pagdating ng 18, wala na. But not all kids have this power.
Mm.
Only certain bloodlines, only certain kids have it.
Mm.
And if they can't control their power, they become exactly the things that they're fighting against. Nephilim.
Mm.
And yeah, I liberally got uh so medyo it's Bible based, but it's not biblically accurate. I had to twist the little things, of course, para mag-story siya. So that I can also fit the Philippine mythology into it. But if you guys are interested, yes, read Genesis 6, read the book of Enoch, and yun. I did put a lot of Bible quotes here, so
Mm.
hindi
Okay.
pang takot.
So,
Joke.
where is this available? Siyempre, meron ba
Available,
meron
and
yata sa
I'm not
PIA.
sure kung may copies pa in Escolta.
Okay.
Do you still have copies, Yumi?
I think so. O yung isa yata ang meron. I have to check. But
There are still
anyway,
some
you have
copies in
copies. So,
FEU, and then the rest is on Amazon. You can download the ebook. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you can get it in Kindle Unlimited for free.
I think it's also in Amazon
Yeah.
print on demand, I
Yes, it
think.
is.
So
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
so they
Only the
can
second book
also
hindi ko pa nape-print on demand, ebook pa
yeah,
lang because medyo iba ang
quality
'yan din guys, iba ang pag-layout for print and iba ang pag-layout for ebook.
ebook.
Yes. So hindi sila you have to consider the left and right margins, you have to consider yung mga gano'n.
Mm,
Compared to like ebook, the ebook kailangan dire-diretso lang yung flow, walang mga blank pages dapat. You don't need to think of the margins.
mm,
Yeah. Pero you need to still have yung mga heading 1, heading 2, and then kailangan naka table of contents yan siya para
mm. Tsaka
there.
page number.
Maybe we'll have a separate class just for
Yes.
layout.
Yes, mas
Kasi
maganda.
anytime matatapos ko, we talk about layout. Medyo matagal ang layouts.
Oo. Tsaka ano yung mabusisi eh, no? You
Medyo,
have to
yeah.
be
You have
detailed.
to have your ano na din. You have to have your manuscript na.
Okay, so wala nang questions. Baka meron pa questions.
Okay
Wala
na,
na?
11 na. Kain na daw tayo.
Oo nga. Okay na. So,
Yes.
thank you, Maita, for gracing our for doing this talk. This is very useful, very helpful for Pinoy indie authors and all other authors out there who might need this information. And this will not be the last one. Meron pa tayo mga
Marami pa tayo.
marami pa mga talks and discussion that we are going to hold in Pinoy in the office.
Yes. So thank you, everybody. Let me end my presentation here. So thank you all for being with us. I hope we're able to answer your questions. For those na hindi naka-join ng live stream, we will try to get back to you as soon as we can. So just leave your questions in the chat.
Yes, yes, they can
Or
leave
not
their
chat,
questions in the
in the
comment section.
comments. Yes. So thank you everyone and please support Pinoy indie authors.
And all other authors, basta
Yes.
Filipino authors, we are,
As I
we
said,
are,
tayo mga Pinoy, we can compete.
we
Trust me
can
on this.
compete
We
with
can compete.
international authors.
Yes. So thanks and bye everybody.
Bye.